do on a daily basis is create creative collisions. Let me tell you the story, how all this began, and why it's important, and leave you with a few thoughts. It's really when an architect becomes fascinated, an architectural designer, I should say, with the problem of urban decline, and really focuses on, you know how you go to your psychiatrist and he says, tell me about your past so I can see what's haunting you. So you gotta understand the new economy. And a lot of the urban decline happened due to the changing economy. A lot of factories moved out, old economy. Companies like Google, Apple, Adobe set the tone for the new economy. The workplaces changed too. We ended up from working this way, a majority, to working that way, what you see in upper right corner. Very different type of day-to-day. It was more about play. It was more about accidental meeting. You would, if you walk inside a Google or Apple these days, you just hang around. You meet a lot of unusual people you wouldn't normally meet, from scientists to educators to engineers to architects. And then, while having fun, you try to solve a few problems. There is also a secret recipe. In today's economy, what's really important is how to come up with new ideas really fast. That's yesterday's mass production. Ideas are today's mass production, and what makes the wheel of economy move, at least in the independent Western countries. There is a secret recipe. It's almost been made into a science, how to expedite that. And it's really no secret anymore. Cat is out. Left brain, right brain people, put them together, give them time, and let them have fun, and good things come out of it. A lot of creative solutions. In the face of seeing, being an architectural designer, I really learned the value of design thinking in solving problems. Architects are ninjas of the built environment. Don't know if you ever had one to solve any of your residential problems or company problems. That training is rigorous. And when you come out of the school and go into practice, it's really mind-boggling where so many parts of our cities look so haunted, right next to the parts that are not. So that put me on a journey, around 10 years plus, into research, and I came across a lot of people who were really trying to figure out the phenomenon of urban decline around the world. Every sixth city in the world is shrinking. Well, a few years ago that was the statistic. And very few managed to reinvent themselves. So a lot of this research is about looking at least from the microscope I was focusing on, what was it about those few cities that managed to do a better job in reinventing themselves? And why so many more didn't? What was it so special? What I realized, kind of accidentally, during the research, that what these few cities were doing was actually not very different to what a lot of these companies are doing. They were actually promoting creative collisions. They put in place policies or funding mechanisms, initiatives that would support creative collision within the city. So what was happening inside these corporate walls that made so many companies and so many shareholders very happy? All of us have in their pocket an iPhone. These are all products of an idea economy. It's one example of a million. You know it all. You mentioned Google. Can we live an hour without it? Let me go one step back. It is not solely the responsibility of the private sector and the developers to come to solve yesterday's problems. Besides, imagine what happens to all the leftover spaces if only developers were the ones to come up with ideas, or companies. Who would deal with that? So these are examples. I'm going to go very quickly through a few examples of cities that actually, and creative corridors come in so many shapes and forms. And I'm going to throw in a few jargon like placemaking, and I'm going to explain slowly what each term means. This is Chicago. Many of you might have even visited it. It's the Millennium Park. It took under 8 years to make this turn into this. It's amazing. New York, the High Line, one of the most incredible recent public phenomena. For a long time, it looked like this. It was an abandoned elevated railroad, 1 mile long, and today it looks like this. A place where people meet, connects very many nodes, connects engineering, residential, art district, all within a mile. People come out, meet, talk, go back, new friendship happens, new partnership happens. Very important are public spaces, our corridors. Our city, or the city of St. Louis, is no exception to the challenge. Many cities have experienced it. So much beauty here, but also right next to a lot of urban decline, underutilized, unrealized spaces that are just so beautiful, waiting something to happen to them. So we created Creative Exchange Lab, a space to start thinking about how we might inspire our people by providing them with what's usually very expensive design services as a nonprofit, with new ideas for spaces that is not on anybody's drawing board actively. We used the same, we came up with our own secret recipe, just as we did in Silicon Valley. This is what really placemaking means, is putting people with building, fun, people, but we threw in there the new technology, very important to this century, to the new economy. And that's what placemaking, and we just started to come up with a few new ideas. One of the first projects we embarked on was almost 2-year initiative, drawing up and coming up with suggestions to connect the Gateway Arch all the way from the river to the Union Station. It was in collaboration with many people, AIA St. Louis chapter, McCormack, Barron, Salazar, the city, Blue Urban, and, well, a lot of youth. City Garden was born, and so is the Art Ground. But it took 2 years to inspire and create collaboration and partnership and many new friends to make things happen. Grand Center, the art district, the cultural district of St. Louis, Midtown. We were really very fortunate to be asked by a philanthropist, generous family. We were given this building to do something interactive and fun. Placemaking, remember that term? Basically, it could have been the word boo, because it's art, and it takes inspiration from that billboard behind it. It's trying to reach out, and it's interactive. There it is. Some of you might have seen it. You actually, we had very little funding, and speak of interdisciplinary. We needed somebody making this interactive, so we had an incredibly interesting retired neuroscientist work with us. Can you imagine a neuroscientist, architects working together? This is what happened. Very soon you can download an app and start playing with the colors. From that collaboration, other collaborations happened. And a lot of you might have heard there is artwork happening in Grand Center, and there is the media common, the same principles for placemaking. Another project, a year and a half before the river, the new bridge was going to open. So my God, the riverfront, the entry to the right north to the T station is a lot of haunted spaces. Let's do something fun. Again, our favorite secret recipe, that's not a secret, you all know it now, mixing new media, art, and fun. We approached the owners of Cotton Belt Building and we came up with a solution with a proposal of a mix of graffiti and use of new technology to do something fun and welcoming for when people enter the city. It went to Rally St. Louis, some of you might have voted for it, and we became one of the top 3 winners. The owners are still deciding whether they want to do it or not, but there it is. Yeah, and we became famous overnight. Then there is placemaking and social engineering. Again, unusual partnership and friendships lead to amazing solutions. We have worked with youth in neighborhoods, youth at risk, and made them to be part of the design solution that runs through the neighborhoods. What do you get? Amazing. This project is in St. Vincent's Park. This was in partnership with Great River Greenways. One of my architecture students worked with some of the youth. They came up with a design solution. We paid a stipend. They learned how to weld. Tell you, when you go to this park, you try to put a scratch on those benches, you get them all out on you. No hooliganism, no such things here. Sweet potato project, my all-time favorite. Youth at risk getting the opportunity to get a stipend. We offered, encouraged. Sylvester Brown, the director of this incredible initiative, to get land. We're very interested in the several creative corridors, boosting them along MLK, along the north side, south side connection, and that's solving another part of the puzzle. The future is bright. A lot of good things happening. Please join us. We're a non-profit initiative. Architects and designers think of us as Doctors Without Borders. And thank you for your time. We hope that's an idea worth spreading. Thank you.